Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Joel Daniel, and in this channel we discuss all things love, marriage and parenting. Thank you to all of you who are subscribed to this channel, watching and sharing the content. And if you're new to this channel, I will encourage you to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you do not miss any content that I'll be sharing. In the early stages of our marriage, I was really terrible with communication. If I had to make any plans or if there were any issues I was dealing with, all that I did was to go into my cave and try to figure out things, try to plan. When things were not going the way I wanted them, then I get frustrated in my head and I become moody. I became very easily angry. And sometimes I just become silent. And during those times, my wife really felt helpless because she didn't know how to help me or how to be supportive during those times. That's what men generally do, isn't it? We are naturally problem solvers and we want to do things by ourselves, and we get our sense of fulfillment if we are able to solve our own problems and all of that. But during those times, the more I stayed in my cave trying to figure things out, the more I was hurting my spouse unconsciously. And that was because I wasn't communicating what I was dealing with, the things that I had in my head to want to do. I wasn't saying them out. I wasn't allowing her into my world to understand where I was as a person. And anytime my poor wife wanted to get into my world to understand what I was dealing with, my natural reaction was to push her away further by saying, oh, it's okay, or it's nothing serious, or anything of that sort. I remember reading a book by John Gray titled Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which gave me a clear understanding of what I was doing. In the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, the author explains how men and women are from completely different planets. So as a man living in Mars, when you are faced with issues, you go into your cave, try to figure things out by yourself, try to problem solve, and then you get your sense of self-worth and confidence as a man if you are able to solve those problems by yourself. And women also from another separate planet, Venus, are more expressive of their feelings. They want to be listened to. They need that connection. So it became apparent to me that I was living in my planet Mars and my wife was also living in her planet Venus. So how can two people living in two separate planets make this relationship work? And that was where I realized that I needed to be conscious of how my actions affected her and how her actions affected me. There I realized that I needed to learn the skill of open and honest communication. Let's be honest, no one is born a natural communicator, but it is a skill that we have to consciously and continuously learn if we want to have happy relationships and happy marriages. So I started doing a very uncomfortable thing about talking openly about my plans, talking openly about the things I was dealing with my wife. And that was the beginning of a journey towards constantly improving and getting better at my communication. If you haven't read John Gray's book, I highly recommend that to you. I can't pretend to be a great communicator now, but I am constantly striving to get better at it every single day. Over the years, I've come to understand that communication is like a river. If you're able to openly and honestly share your thoughts and feelings with your partner, then it is like a river that is flowing smoothly. That is a state where you are able to communicate effectively and honestly and openly, and it makes your relationship enjoyable, it makes it fun, and you really feel connected to each other. This same river called communication can become dangerous and destructive when not well managed. It can really become a very turbulent river when you are not communicating effectively by listening to each other, or you're listening in a very defensive way. You're not listening to understand but listening to respond, or when you are constantly using things against your partner that they have shared with you. When this river called communication is in that turbulence, then you will not be having the most out of your relationship. Unfortunately, there are some relationships which is like a river which has been blocked from flowing. What happens when a river is stopped from flowing? The pressure is going to gradually build up, and eventually is going to explode like in a flood. This happens when you do not talk to each other, when you are afraid to express your feelings, your fears, and your anxieties with your partner, or you are afraid that whatever you're going to say to your partner is going to be used against you. This is a stage where you really don't want to get to in your relationship, because it is in this state that usually relationships become very, very difficult to repair. So take a moment to think about the state of your relationship now in regards to your communication. Is your river flowing smoothly? Is your river turbulent? Or is your river blocked? When I got this revelation, I decided that I want to make my river to flow smoothly constantly. And that requires work. That requires doing the uncomfortable things. That requires working cooperatively with your partner to ensure that you are having that effective communication which is necessary for a happy and enjoyous relationship. Although I can't say I am perfect in communicating now, but I certainly have gotten better with time. That is because I have strived that irrespective of how uncomfortable it will be, I will constantly be open and communicate honestly. The surprising thing about this is that we've gotten to a stage where sometimes when I say something, then she'll be like, oh, I was thinking the same. Or it's like you're reading my mind. Or exactly my thoughts. I can't even count the number of times we've used these expressions among ourselves. And it's almost like we can predict each other's thoughts in certain situations. Being in this state of oneness and connectedness doesn't come easy. It takes commitment from both parties to want to be better communicators. And it also takes the understanding that you are both from two separate planets. So my question for you today, will you start that journey of becoming better in your communication with your spouse? It is a skill that normally requires a lot of work to get better and better at it. And you need to be genuinely interested in becoming a better communicator with your spouse. The goal is that you are someone that your partner or your spouse feel comfortable and safe to be able to share their innermost feelings, fears, and anxieties with you. They should be able to tell you anything and everything and know that they've got you on their side. They should be able to share their thoughts with you, even the silliest of them. Communication is so crucial to successful relationships that I'll be recording a separate video where I'll be sharing tips for men and tips for women on how to improve on your communication. I do hope you've learned a thing or two in this video about communication. Please do feel free to use the comment section to tell me where the state of your relationship is in relation to communication. Is it a smooth river, a turbulent river, or a blocked river? Until I come your way again with the next video where I share lesson number 3, thank you for watching and God bless us all.